what's up, you guys? It's Caboose bringing you another video, and today what I got for you guys here is going to be my non-spoiler thoughts on the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight. That's right, Disney Canada has provided me access to the first 4 episodes of the series ahead of its premiere this Wednesday on Disney+, and I can't wait to talk with you guys about it. Non-spoilers, of course. Before we jump into everything, though, if you're looking forward to Moon Knight, if you're excited for the show to begin this Wednesday, which is actually coincidentally my birthday, well then scroll down right now and hit that thumbs up button. Share your hype, share your excitement with me. If you want to keep up to date on the latest and greatest in Marvel news, whether it's the MCU or the games, I got you covered on that. So scroll down as well and hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications to be immediately notified when a video goes live. And with that being said, let's jump in. Let me give you guys my thoughts on the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight. To preface my thoughts, I'd like to make very clear that I'm not a ride or die hardcore Moon Knight fan. I didn't grow up reading the comics. I've dabbled and I certainly have a base level of understanding of the character, but that's as far as it goes. I don't know every single run. I can't recite to you lines from the comic books, but I understand the character, I know of the character, and I have read and collected a few comics for Moon Knight in the past. And with that being said, let me say that Moon Knight, in my personal opinion, as of right now, they could fumble the bag in the last 2 episodes, but as of right now, from the first 4 episodes that I have seen, it is without a doubt the best Disney Plus Marvel show that we have gotten to date. Not only that, and you're gonna hear a lot of people say what I'm about to say. This is not an original thought of mine. This is something that a lot of people have already mentioned, and for good reason. Moon Knight is for sure the least formulaic MCU thing that we have gotten, and the most unique MCU content that we have seen in a long time. I think what caught me most by surprise, and a pleasant surprise at that, is that when I was watching Moon Knight, I think I only caught one subtle reference to the greater MCU. Besides that, it feels very much like it's a contained, self-sustained story about this character, about Moon Knight, about Marc Spector, Stephen Grant, and all the other characters that he interacts with throughout this show. And again, the last 2 episodes of the series could change this, but from what I have seen so far, they're not attempting to set up how this character fits into the greater MCU, and I am perfectly fine with that. Moon Knight is about Oscar Isaac's character, Stephen Grant, and he's learning a little bit about himself and realizing that he's actually keeping secrets from himself as he struggles with dissociative identity disorder. His other personality, Marc Spector, is a mercenary who works for the Egyptian god of the moon and serves him as Moon Knight. And oh my goodness, Oscar Isaac, if he doesn't secure himself an Emmy nomination from this show, it'll either be because the other pieces of television that come out throughout this year are exceptionally well received, or because he was completely snubbed. May Calamawy is also one of the supporting members of the cast, and I don't know how much I can say about her character, but I will mention first of all that the actress is fantastic in this other show, Rami. You have to check it out if you haven't already. Very much enjoy that show myself, and I'm so glad to see that she's here in the MCU. I don't know how much I can say about her character Layla, besides the fact that she is a badass, and she serves the plot well, and she is a driving force for the character of Stephen Grant and Marc Spector, Moon Knight. There's also Khonshu, who is fantastic in this show. Such a great addition. His presence is felt throughout the entire 4 episodes that I was able to watch. The voice is incredible, visually stunning character design, and overall some fantastic top-notch CGI here. And finally, we have Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow. And it's funny because a lot of people have talked about the fact that Ethan Hawke has been open about not really liking Marvel movies. So the fact that he has ended up in a Marvel property is pretty insane. He was convinced without even a script by Oscar Isaac to join the show as the antagonist, and he had a lot of input as to what his character was going to be like, including the opening scene, the introduction to his character in the show. And it is a terrifying introduction at that. I will say, outside of Arthur Harrow's introduction in the show, I haven't felt as intimidated by him throughout the entirety of the 4 episodes that I've watched, but he's still a formidable foe for Moon Knight, for the cast in general, and for the most part, a solid MCU villain. Nothing too spectacular, but maybe those final 2 episodes are going to change my mind. I think the thing I love the most about Moon Knight, and some people might not agree, and that's totally okay, this may be a bit divisive, but in my personal opinion, what I love about Moon Knight is that it's not trying to be a massive spectacle. It's not trying to be action-packed. It is a self-contained, engaging character study. The characters drive the plot forward, and at the end of the day as well, the characters drive the action forward. And when action allows an opportunity to not just show off some great punches or some good fight choreography, but also to develop your characters, it's something to get invested in, and it's something to feel the stakes of. And don't get it twisted, when there is action in this show, and there's still plenty of it, it's visually gorgeous to look at. That costume for Moon Knight, you've seen it in the trailers. That is, for me, one of, if not the best, live action comic book suits that we've ever gotten. Ever. Speaking of costumes though, there is another look for Moon Knight in this show, and you've seen it in the promotional materials, and it's damn good looking, and that's Mr. Knight. Again, looks fantastic. The design is perfect. Like, it's beautiful. Anybody who is a fan of the Mr. Knight run from the comic books, that's how it should look in live action. However, I know there were a lot of people that were very hesitant as to what the characterization of Mr. Knight was going to be like in this show, and whether or not they were going to do it good service from how it was in the comic books. Again, I'm not the most hardcore Moon Knight fan. However, in my opinion, I don't think they handled Mr. Knight very well. They kind of redeemed themselves following the moment where they introduced the Mr. Knight persona, but for the most part, I don't think they did the greatest job. They didn't land with their 2 feet on what they wanted to do with Mr. Knight. For someone like me who isn't ride or die hardcore Moon Knight fan, I think it's fine, and I think there's still some enjoyment to be had out of what they do with Mr. Knight. But for somebody who may really love what they've done with that character in the comic books, I don't know if you're going to be too happy. I know another thing that a lot of people were hoping for when they were seeing the trailers, and they were just in general privy to the fact that we were getting a Moon Knight show on Disney Plus, was whether or not it was going to reach that level of violence that we got in something like Daredevil. Unfortunately, I don't think this show goes that far. However, it's definitely one of the more adult MCU properties that we've gotten in a long while. There is some violence, and the show does have some brutal moments, and it will make you question the morals of Moon Knight sometimes, but it doesn't reach that level of violence I think some people were expecting, nor should they have really. At the end of the day, this is an MCU property. This is on Disney Plus. I don't think they were going to get as violent as some people were expecting, but it's not just a kids show. It's not just all jokes. It's not just all comedy. There are some pretty serious moments, and there is some pretty brutal action. I know a lot of people are wondering as well if they handled the mental health aspect of this show with care, and I will say that they did for the most part. I'm no expert, but I think they did a good job with it. I'll end on this note. Moon Knight is unashamedly weird, and I love that the show is completely leaning into that. They are not trying to hide it at all, and especially when you guys get to episode 4, my goodness, does it get weird. Seriously, I'm chomping at the bit for episodes 5 and 6. I can't believe how long I have to wait, but at the same time, I'm also really excited for this show to kick off this Wednesday, and as well to see these episodes releasing every week and see what everyone has to think about them. I'm so excited, and I hope that you guys end up enjoying the show as much as I did. I think overall, I'm gonna give these first 4 episodes of Moon Knight a solid 9 out of 10. Really good watch. Definitely for me, one of the best Disney Plus shows, and I hope that they finish as strongly as they started. Somebody give Oscar Isaac an Emmy nomination. At the very least, the man deserves it for what he has done with the characters that he portrays in this show. And with that being said, now I want to kick it to you guys. If you're watching this past the premiere date, what did you think of Moon Knight? If you haven't seen it yet, are you excited? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed my review, if you could consider hitting that thumbs up button, it would show your support, and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are going to be in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.